Marcus, the game's starting.
Fuck! Na 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 na. Okay. Have you started recording? Please don't say yes. Okay. Anyway, you're recording. Fuck. Anyway, what's up, guys? What's up, gamers? Am I commentating by myself? I am commentating by myself. Okay, great. Let's do it. 3, 2, 1, action. Welcome everybody to a very exciting round of 16. Round of 16 match. I suppose they're all exciting at this point. We have Ignas and MBO, and we are starting here on Ashburn. So in the favor of MBOUltimates on Basin Hill. Andiamo.
Set.
Alrighty.
Go.
We are underway. MBO gets the first point, but in this stage of the game, it's far too early telling after 10 seconds. But MBO has the slight lead after about 15. Ignas ties it up, and then briefly take the lead, and a nice blast to finish the spawn there. Ignas clean up well. Nice super speed to snag that last yellow. Sends him the wrong way going into the next spawn, but he recovers well. Ignas holding on to his lead over MBO, but more or less a tie game at this point. Players moving a little awkwardly from time to time, but they seem to be managing pretty well so far. We see our first blue of the game, which goes comfortably to MBO, who takes a 7-point lead over Ignas. About 1 hit to go, but Ignas is still keeping up quite nicely, so it's very early to tell how this match might end up. Ignas crawling behind right on MBO's toes. A nice super speed trick by Ignas, who can't get the bounce after the first gem he collects, and has to stall a little bit getting the last gem there. Ignas has to sacrifice the use of his blast. We see our second blue. That goes to MBO. Really nicely done. MBO's back on the even points with a 10-point lead with 2 minutes 30 left to go. Ignas is first to the next spawn. MBO with a nice super speed trick lands on a gem and goes out of bounds, giving time for Ignas to pack up and tie the game again. We see blue number 3 that goes to Ignas. Ignas takes the lead again. MBO takes the lead. It's now 1-point match with one player on odd points in this moment. So Ignas starting to pull ahead, but not enough to make anything statement of yet. Ignas first to reach 69 points. It's nice on his call. 2 minutes left, and Ignas seems to be stumbling a little bit and giving MBO some time to catch up, and only 1 point separating these two players. A nice super speed by Ignas, and he's able to pick up 3 gems out of that spawn, and still just barely in the lead. MBO takes a brief lead. Ignas takes it back. This is still a 1-point game. MBO first he uses super speed, but trips up on his way to the spawn. Ignas lands a little bit more cleanly, but was a touch slower. But he is still leading by 1 point. MBO gets the larger half of that spawn and takes the lead. But that blue for Ignas is massive for him, bringing him back on the even points with a 6-point lead with 1 minute to go. We see blue number 5 that Ignas steals incredibly well. MBO just wasn't quite able to get there. Blue number 6, MBO gets that! And both players are even on blues, and we have a 4-point game with 35 seconds left to go. If this entire match looks like this game, this will be an absolute spectacle for the rest of us. Ignas leading by 2 points with 30 seconds left to go. A nice bounce by both of them. MBO cleans up really nicely and gets the majority of that spawn, but Ignas is still on his tail. Not on his tail, sorry, even ahead. Ignas with a 4-point lead, 15 seconds left to go. MBO picks up enough gem and 2 points separating the two. MBO ties it and briefly takes the lead. A really nice super speed by him. And MBO is leading by 4 points going into the last spawn. MBO misses. And MBO takes the first game by 4 points. Already an incredible game. First of this match. And yeah, God, we can only hope that the rest of that match looks like what we just saw here. MBO leads the series 1-0 on a really, really close game on Basin Hill. And we go into map number 2. Incredible, incredible scenes. That is exactly what we love to see. Alright, I'm gonna have to restart my game here because we know how we know how this works on Max. Sorry, everyone. Did someone do a screen capture of the score? I said I can't wrote it down. All right, thank you. What is my game doing? There we go. All right, sorry about this, everyone. On my way back. All right, we are now on the European server, MBO having picked Ziggurat, which is an interesting pick, especially considering that this can be pretty close regarding gem steals with ping. But MBO does have the advantage. Oh my god, what did I just miss? All right, sorry about that. Here we go.
Ready.
Game number 2. You're in Germany now, playing on Ziggurat. The team's positioned well, but it seems like MBO has a bit more momentum after the first spawn, especially getting into the next one. Let's see if he was able to pick up a power-up or not, and fortunately, as your caster, my power-up box is gone from my spectator view. But anyway, MBO holds the lead by just a few points after 2 spawns. Nothing of too much significant yet. Not like anyone's getting a super, super hot start right off the bat. Really nice super speed by MBO to swipe one of the yellows. Ignas beelining for the second one. MBO can have a chance to grab a Mega Marble, which he decides to turn down after all. MBO taking the opportunity to camp in the middle, but it does not pay off. Ignas having to sacrifice a super speed to quickly change directions, but it is a tie game, more or less, so any farther, and MBO would have had a nice Mega on Ignas, but Ignas instead has its own shot at MBO, which doesn't come to any fruition. MBO starting to take a bit of a lead here by 8 points. And Ignas picks up a super speed in preparation for the next spawn. It seems to be closer to MBO anyway, so Ignas has to sacrifice his super speed, which allows MBO to pick up the yellow and a couple of reds, and get the majority of that spawn. MBO leads by 10 points with 2.5 minutes left to go. MBO picks up a blast. Ignas tries to use his with not really much effect. MBO finally uses his with a bit of a bump away from Ignas, but this actually works out in favor for Ignas, who makes an interesting choice to go for the far gem of this spawn. Probably not the best choice for him. He's also in better position for the next spawn, but MBO has this really, really nice line in front of him of 4 points, 1 yellow and 2 reds, and works out really, really nicely for him. Ignas creeps towards an Ultra Blast here. Probably would have been good for him to pick up. But he does end up picking one anyway, so not too much of a loss there. But MBO is leading by 13 points, so if Ignas really wants to stay in this, he's going to have to nice mega and use it for super speed by MBO. Yeah, this is definitely a map that MBO seems to be a bit more comfortable on, and starting to gain a lead here. So unfortunately, MBO's second mega can't really do much to Ignas, and Ignas with the advantage of the super speed is able to get to the spawn first. MBO flies over the 2 gems that he goes for initially, and Ignas can pick up a little bit and start to close the score slightly, but MBO has a lovely use for super speed to get to the next spawn before Ignas can. Ignas picks up the yellow, but MBO picks up the majority of the reds. So MBO gets the next yellow, and a nice blast doesn't, and almost reaching Ignas with his Mega Marble, but does not amount to anything. We see the first blue, and MBO is first to that by some distance, leading by more than 20 points. We see our next blue, which Ignas picks up, so they've now shared a blue, so canceling out the one that MBO had picked up. But MBO still leads by over 15 points, so with 30 seconds left to go on a map like Ziggurat, it's just impossible to really make that kind of comeback unless something crazy happens with the middle. So the rest of the points in to this extent are more or less just consolation for Ignas, or of course with the skill level of MBO. Yeah, we see one more last spawn that will not be able to be cleaned up in its entirety. So MBO wins 96-80 and has a 2-0 lead on the match. Fortunately, not as exciting as Space and Hell, but it could have been farther. Speaking of 2-0, experiencing the first weekend of the new Premier League season, and Tottenham is leading Burnley 2-0. Game number 3, we return to Ashburn for Ignas' second pick. Basin Hill didn't end up working out for him, so he will have to pick something nice here. Or coming back from 3-0, especially against MBO, will be quite the task. Okay, this football match that I had previously mentioned is now 3-0 to Tottenham. All right, Ignas chooses Pyramid, not the map too often throughout the tournament so far, with the exception of the pre-seed rounds, of course. Anyway, on we go.
Ready, set, go.
Both players spawn on the opposite side of the map from where the spawn is. Ignas has the benefit of a super jump and is able to lead after the first spawn, and has another super jump to get to the next one after that. Really, really, really nicely done. MBO is coming in with a Mega Marble, doesn't really amount to anything, and Ignas has another super jump in his pocket in preparation for the next spawn. Uses his blast wisely so he can hold on to the super jump. After this, is able to pick up all 3 yellows in a really commanding lead after 30 seconds by 10 points, 17-7. We see our first blue, which both players share, but Ignas is able to stay on. So Ignas still leading by about 10 here. being able to pick up 2 of the 3 yellows and getting a bit of an advantage. And that super speed just coming in handy, getting him to the next spawn. Ignas playing a fantastic game so far here on Pyramid. His lead extending to 15 and in spawn in position for the next spawn after that. MBO just cannot find his momentum. Ignas taking the opportunity to camp in the middle. Both players doing the same, in fact. MBO finally collects a yellow. I say finally, that was his 4th yellow. At this point, it's a bit of a stalemate for the rest of the spawn. So MBO drops down for the advantage of the next spawn. And a nice blast by Ignas to blast. Oh! And both players share the second blue as well. A really, really nice super jump snipe from Ignas. That was definitely in favor of MBO. But he was just hovering over the blue a little bit too much. We've seen this yellow over here on the green side hanging out for quite some time now, through a couple of spawns now. Ignas doing a nice job just taking care of the spawn, holding that 20-point lead. We see blue number 3. Ignas falls and MBO can finally collect a blue and gain a little bit of an advantage just in regards to the spawn without Ignas interfering too much. MBO starting to make a bit of a comeback. He ignores the rest of the spawn in favor of picking up a super jump and an ultra blast. Ignas tries to blast and doesn't really amount to anything. And Ignas's once 20-point lead is now hovering over 10 or so. So if MBO keeps playing the way that he does, we could see a close game. But we have 1 minute 30 left to go. We finally see a blue in the middle, and that comfortably goes to MBO. MBO is making a really, really nice comeback here, bringing the game to about 5 points now, going into 70 seconds left of this game. This would be pretty unfortunate if Ignas were to lose this lead here. Probably did not need to pick up that last red. Maybe could have camped the middle instead, and seriously worked out for MBO, who with this yellow will tie the game after being down by 20 points. The next favor is in the next spot is in Ignas's favor. A blast that took MBO off just for a moment. We see the blue in the middle again, which goes to MBO. MBO is now 3 up on blues, but Ignas still has that 7-point lead. The main difference being 15 more reds picked up by Ignas than MBO. Both players sharing the next spawn pretty evenly. We have this one yellow in the middle here that both players seem to be leaving. MBO ends up picking it up. And neither player in great position for the next spawn. We'd have to see an incredible last spawn here working in favor of MBO for him to win this, but it does look like Ignas is finally going to win a game against MBO here. So he makes it 2-1 for MBO's favor, but this is going into MBO's second map pick. A really, really nice game on Pyramid from Ignas there, especially. Back to Germany we go. MBO picks Stadium as his second map pick. A similar vibe to Zigra, but definitely a lot larger of a playground here. Television's arguing this is not what he thinks so when it comes to MBO's strength. And Ignas is known for having a really nice set of just raw skill. So we could see an upset here, but this definitely does not usually this map doesn't tend to suffer from weird ping happenings too much, but anyway, our first spawn is only composed of yellows, and both players on the complete opposite side of the map. Ignas reaches there first, and isn't able to find the high ground, like Obi-Wan was able to. But both players tied. We see our first blue already in the second spawn. Hard to tell which player will get there first. Ignas almost overshoots, but has another super speed in his pocket to make sure he does get it, and he takes a small lead after two spawns. Excuse me. But MBO is comfortably first to the next spawn, and taking the half of the spawn and setting up really, really nicely for the next one after that with a super speed. Ready to go. Ignas is already zooming by, though. Picks up 2 gems, and about to pick up a third. And so both players share the spawn evenly. And MBO opts for the super speed instead of picking up the last gem. And in the opposite corner is our next spawn. Ignas picks up the first gem. And a really nice blast from MBO. Not something we see super often on a large sprawling map like Skadium. The next spawn right next to the previous one. Ignas in a slightly better position, and Ignas leading by about 5, 7, 9 points here. So playing a really nice game, not quite working MBO's strengths, but we have well over 3 minutes left to play, and anything could happen between these two players. We see her first spawn in the middle that MBO gets. A really, really nice blue, and that's huge for him, who ties the game, and Ignas just has to do what he can to for consolation to clean up the rest of the spawn. Both players on 55 with 3 minutes left to go. Ignas hits the wall, which is unfortunate for him because that gives MBO a lot of access here up on the top, and is able to pick up super speed and already speeding to the next spawn. MBO is starting to show some signs of some really, really nice momentum, but Ignas is doing well to hang on. And just super speed after super speed for both of these players. MBO seeming to be slightly more proficient with them, and that's shown in our scoreboard right now. MBO's lead has increased to 10 points, about 8 points now. So really, really showing well. Not sure what happened with Ignas here. Maybe just a wild super speed, possibly a misclick. But MBO able to gain an even more advantage, and a really, that would have been a nice mega if the spawn wasn't in that direction. Ignas has a chance to go for the blue. Fortunately, gets a second bite of the apple. MBO just not quite getting there in time. But MBO has enough of a lead at this point. Ignas still has quite the hill to climb if he wants to bring this game to at least a tie, or at least, cut back to pretty close. Oh goodness, I'm just lagging horribly. Oh goodness. Alright, I think we're okay now. Apologies. I missed a couple of things, but both our players are even on blues. But MBO was quite the advantage at this point. A 20-point advantage, which is going to be really, really hard for Ignas to come back to with 80 seconds left. But anything can happen. Both of these players are incredibly skilled. That's what happens in a tournament of this size once you get to even just the round of 16. So Ignas has to absolutely catch fire to really make a comeback here, which is possible for him, but it's going to be really difficult, and MBO playing really, really nicely so far. Players just taking their time. Ignas having to use a super speed. MBO already having one in his pocket for the next spawn, which is great for him. 30 seconds left to go, give or take, and a 20-point lead that any MBO would have to sacrifice to lose. So it seems like we are going to exit this exit this game with a 3-0 advantage to MBOUltimate going into Ignas' last pick. Seconds left, and MBO still with that commanding 20-point lead. Ignas just only on his tail and cannot quite get in front. Our clock counts down. And a really, really nice game from MBO, 168 to 146. He has a 3-1 advantage on the match now. Of course, I have to restart my game. Pulling out all the stops at this point with his this pick of Eye of the Storm, which might be a bit questionable given that we are on Ashburn where MBO has the ping advantage, but if Ignas is good at this map, which this is definitely quite a statement of pick. We can only hope for a good match here. Ignas has to win 3 in a row now to stay alive in the tournament. 1 loss, and he will be eliminated from the round of 16.
Go.
Both players start right in the middle of the storm here. And Ignas collecting the first couple of points here. Goodness, this is a horrible map to spectate, I must say. Just an awkward map for anyone to play as much as A-Game, or dear A-Game, likes this map immensely. Maneuvering decently, hovering up at the top here to hopefully gain advantage going into the next spawn. We see our second yellow that MBO is also able to pick up. Ignas finally gets his first as well, and a bit of a lead on the reds as well. So he has a 2-point lead. Slowly creeping away. And 3 minutes left to go. He just picks up the next gem and just hovering around the outside of the bowl here. Bull might be questionable where to use here. MBO in a nice position with the tornado to hit this next spawn. Is able to retake the lead only by 1 point. It's a close game here. The storm does definitely have an essence of desperate times comes for desperate measures, and Ignas is definitely into desperate times right now, especially not having the lead at the moment. It's a really nice grab from MBO with that yellow, but Ignas picks up the one after that and ties the game. Ignas was briefly in a really nice position to start collecting the rest of the spawn, but MBO made it up just in time. Tries to use his blast to get the last remaining gem, but is not able to, and Ignas is able to instead, and retakes the lead himself. Ignas picks up the yellow, And the last word after that. We see our next yellow. We see 2 yellows, and MBO is able to pick up both of them and is able to retake the lead after that. It's a really close game here. Ignas barely missing the yellow, and MBO picking it up instead, and all of a sudden, he has a 6-point lead. Ignas has to really step on the gas here in order to make a statement here and get a second win of the match here. But all of a sudden, MBO is just pulling ahead. That ping advantage probably working in his favor at this point. MBO catching fire just at the right time to start getting quite a bit of a lead here, and Ignas is going to have to really turn the jets on to have any hope of staying alive, not just in this game or this match, but in this entire tournament. This will be his last game if, in the next 40 seconds, he can't conjure up some true madness. But MBO just cannot stop picking up the yellows at this point. A 14-8 lead on the yellow gems specifically, and pretty much tied on the reds. So 25 seconds left to go, and a 12-point hill for Ignas to climb. The count and the countdown of the clock starts at 15. At 20 seconds, but 15 seconds left to go here. 10 seconds left, and MBO has an almost 15-point lead. Picks up one yellow just for good measure. A nice little line of reds there. MBO isn't quite able to make 100 points, but Ignas is down on 83.